Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I'm coming back at you with another wargaming and miniature video. In today's video, kind of a two-part video, but the video is my 15mm Ancient project update, where we're at, what's going on with my update, and it's also an unboxing of some Boetta models that I got in, and that's all tied together with my 15mm Ancients project. Now, before we get too deep into it, I want to let you know that I'm struggling with COVID and that I'm out of breath, and so I'll be editing this video to the best of my ability so that you'll be able to get a clean video. Don't forget, if you like these videos and you want to see more content on my channel, be sure to hit the PayPal Me link in the description below, and or hit the donate button. I would be greatly appreciated for either medical bills, medicine, or just keeping me afloat in this troubling time of mine right now. Hopefully I'm on the upswing, and that's why I think I'm able to do this video for you today, because the show must go on. All right, so now the first thing I want to talk about is I had some models previous to getting this order in, and they're also Boetta. You can see on the packaging, you know, that they're Boetta models. Boetta models, their buildings and their models and their terrain pieces are top notch. They're 100%. I love them to death. And not all of these, like, I'm not sure if this one, it might, yeah, I don't remember if they were all Boettas, because I no longer have the packaging on these guys. But I have some camp followers. I had some Roman, or I should say some ancient camp followers from Old Glory. And then now I've got some Celtic civilians from Blue Moon to go along with my campsites that I'll be putting together. This is the medieval bee tent, right? And then this is, I don't know if that's Prussian, and these all look Roman. Looks like a hide tent. But I wanted to say that I was going to use these models and like these models and build some campsites. But let's go ahead and open this up and see exactly what I got. Now, I do have a Spartan Tory Arch, or whatever it's called. I've been holding on to that model for many moons, but I don't think I'm going to be doing a Spartan army. So I might just sell that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that love the Spartans. Okay. Now this is an A-frame thatched roof. Just an A-frame thatched roof. I would consider that to be a piece of a village. Maybe a Germanic village or something. Okay. I got some amphora and some bags. Not bags, I guess they're baskets full of fruit or whatever. and then some jugs. That'd be just good as placements either in the village or on a campsite. We did get a free sample. We almost always get a free sample. Looks like a couple of barrels and a couple of sacks and jugs. It's all good for campsites. That was a good add-on. Now this is the medieval bee as well. So it looks like I've got two. I thought I didn't have this, but it looks like I got two medieval bees, one old, one new. All right, and here I've got a Greek tent. Got the one flap open, and it just says 15mm Greek. This will be great for my Macedonians. And once I get them all out, I'll kind of organize them in a way to show you how I'm planning on utilizing them. This looks like it's another one of these thatched roof A-frames, which is very good, which basically is telling me I can start a little village, and then I would just need some like little chickens and maybe a cow or two or something like that. I need to get that in 15s. Lo and behold, I got a wattle fence. This would not be something that I would put out as terrain or obstacles on the battlefield. This is something that I would put around a farm. So with these thatched and these fences, we can make a little farmhouse. Okay. These items. Okay. I only grabbed one of these Gothic tents. I think I probably should have grabbed one more, but you don't really need a whole lot on your campsite base. And this is one tent. It's kind of like I would say a Y frame, because you got the A in the front and then one bar in the back holding up the A. And this is covered in hide. So it's not like an A-frame like this. It's kind of almost like a lean-to. But it's Gothic. Okay. LGS 5 and 6. LGS 5 is a fire pit roasting a pig on a spit. It has a ton of like barrels and boxes and stuff, and it's got a couple of people manning the fire and cooking. And I'll show you up close what these look like. An LGS 6, same thing, has a frame over a fire, but with a pot hanging down, like they're cooking a stew or something. And then there's also a couple of metal models of attendants, cooks, civilians. And then finally, I grabbed this Byzantine tent. It's pretty gigantic. Just going to use this as maybe a Carthaginian what do they call those? officer's tent, noble's tent. It'll just be a big tent. I thought I had a medieval tent as well, not just those round tents. Well, I just checked my invoice, and it looks like I didn't order that. Okay. Which there must have been a reason. Now, I kind of like the fact that it gives me this 15 millimeter guide. See, I thought I ordered this tent, but I guess I didn't. I ordered a couple of these tents. Now let's, oh, that Elvish tent, okay. Orc tent, Anglo-Saxon tent. Large desert tent. Okay, yeah, Achaemenid Persian tent. That's what that PRS is. Suitable for any Persian or Mid-Eastern army, up to including the Sassanids. I guess I was planning on doing the Persians because I was doing the Macedonians. And you can see up here, it's called the Spartan Docata. Suitable also for 25 millimeter. Okay. But I don't think I'm ever going to use that. Don't think I'm ever going to use that Persian one either. So, I don't know. But here, let me explain my thought process for some of these tents. And it's gonna blow my mind. Okay, I ordered Romans tents from Plastic Soldier Company, and they did not come in. They were actually canceled because they said there was a difficulty in making those campsites. Okay, no problem. They probably had a problem with their files or whatever. So what that means is I'm going to campsite my Romans with the Roman tents that I've had in the past. Okay. I think this one is an Imperial Roman. Wonder if they give me a picture. Okay, so this one here is the Roman Legion tent. Okay, that's great for a Roman Legionnaire campsite. This one here is a Praetorian HQ tent. So it could be from Republican to Imperial. Same thing with this. So if I wanted to make two campsites, I could, or I could put both of these on one base for the Romans, which is probably what I'm going to do. The Greek tent was obviously going to be a tent for my Greek armies, like my Macedonians. It says suitable for Greek or Macedonians and can be used throughout the classical period. So my Macedonians get that tent, Romans get those tents. Okay, and now as you know, I'm building I'm building a number of medieval armies. I have the English or French or Burgundian or Swiss. And so by having two of these, I can make 2 medieval campsites, and then I can just use them with whatever army that I want. So I'm not going to paint them up like specifically with, Henry V and all of his colors. Or I'm just going to paint them generic medieval. That way I can use them for whatever medieval army I want to use. Burgundian or English or French, etc. Okay, so those are 4 campsites. The Gothic, the 15 millimeter Gothic, has that hide thrown over a couple of bars, almost like a teepee, but Germanic, right? So that's going to be my crude leather tent used by all early Germans and barbarian tribes. So there's my German tent. So what do we got? We got my Romans, got my Greeks, Macedonians, we got my Germans, my 2 medievals, right? I'm also doing a Carthaginian, and this is a giant tent, which is actually almost too big, right? Because it's got to fit on 80 millimeters. So 10 to 80, okay. Yeah, it's 80 by 120 is the campsite base. It looks like this is 60 millimeters, so that should be okay. Yeah, it's 60. Maybe a few millimeters over 60. 63 or something. Okay, so that'll fill up an entire half of the base. But I'm not in a rush to do my Carthaginians right now anyway. My Romans and my Germans are what I'm rushing on. Free samples, I'll just go all over everywhere. The extra pieces will go on everything. And finally, I want to build a small village. So I'm going to build with this A-frame, this A-frame, this fencing, civilians. I'll put them probably on bases so they can be moved and adjusted in the village. Kneeling and sitting, and little boys and adults, wives. Okay, so those Celtic civilians will be all over the place in the city, but if I feel like they're appropriate, I'll put them on various other bases. Same with this. This has got some guys just walking around. Got a lady with a jug on her head. A couple of those. Got a barrel. It's It's got a couple of wattle fences, much smaller than that. Oh, there's a box or two, a big bundle, like a bundle of wheat or something. A couple of guys look like they're sitting on a wagon. I don't think I have any ancient wagons. Yeah, I don't see any wheels or anything. But I could easily just put him like sitting on a box or something. But those guys will go all over all the different, so those will be universal. This Prussian tent, it's not a Prussian, it's Persian. Okay, it's Archimedes Persian tent or any Mid-Eastern army, up to including the Sassanids. Mid-Eastern. I don't know if I'm making any Mid-Eastern armies. So this might actually just go up for sale, guys. And this, I thought was just a medieval tent. But it's not part of the... I don't recognize it. If I find this during editing, I'll upload a picture of the website where I got it. I might not have bought this from Boetta, but it looks like it is a Boetta model, so I don't know. So I'm going to do, it might be a discontinued tent, or it might be one I overlooked. So I'm going to take a look, and we'll see what that is. And then these pits, these campsites, I thought about putting one in a village just to give it more life. And then the other one, I don't know, I was thinking the Macedonians could be cooking up a pig or something, I don't know. Or I don't necessarily want to put it on the medievals. I could easily put one of each of these on each of the medievals and it would fit perfect. So I might do that. Or I might order a couple more, I don't know, because I think they're sweet as hell. Okay, let me adjust the camera. I want to zoom in on some of these tents. Even if they're in the bags and I'm not taking them out of the bags. Actually, yeah, even though I'm not, I don't know. Start off with this wattle fencing. And as you notice, I've taken it out of the packaging. Get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these long pieces. And they are about 80 millimeters. 2 base widths. And then this would be a gate. Which is about 40 millimeters. Or 1 base width. And then there's a small piece, which I guess would go on a backside to balance it out. Go along with that village theme. This is one of those thatched roof huts. I have 2 of these. There's a shield on one side. And here is the giant Byzantine tent that I was going to use for the Carthaginians. This one's hollow. A Roman legionnaire tent. A large Roman legionnaire tent, which is headquarters or praetorian, it said. But I have a feeling this is not Boeta. As with this, I looked, I couldn't find this one anywhere. I even looked at the Old Glory site. This looks like it might be a Napoleonic's tent or a Civil War tent, something like that. So I don't know if I'll be using it. Could be medieval. Sorry, the microphone was pushed off to the side and I didn't realize it. But this is the Gothic tent that I'm going to be using for my early Germans. And this is one of the two medieval tents that I'll be using for my medieval campsites. And this is the Greek tent. Fingers all in the way. This is the Archimedes Persian one. I'm not going to take it out of the packaging because I think I'm going to resell this. If I ever need or plan to do the Persians, then maybe I'll reorder. And this is the campsite accessory pack. Didn't feel like I needed to take it out. It's pretty straightforward. And then free sample, which I'm going to show. Barrels, bags. Here are a few. The Blue Moon civilians. Trying to shadow it so you can see it. White metal in this light really stand out. There's I guess an elder sitting. A youngling, very small, 10 millimeters maybe. A gentleman. Another guy carrying some wood. A very young woman, maybe 10, 12 years. It's another elder type. Just sitting around the campfire or what have you. All right, this is the base for LG S5. It looks like a pig that they're preparing. And then that is actually the fire pit. And if you can see on the left and right, there's a hole for the spit, right? And then a barrel and bags and stuff. And then there you can see two sticks that would stick up from those holes I mentioned. And then this pig would just rest across those two Y logs. One of the two guys working the pit, that's one of them right there. And then the other guy may be manning the fire, kneeling down. All right, and this is LGS 6. You can see the fire, 3 holes where the tripod would be. Someone made a little table where they can work on vegetables and stuff. Pots and pans. Little table on the other side, maybe where somebody's sitting. And this is the tripod. That's the main piece, and then this is the third piece, which has the pot hanging down over the fire. Couple of guys kneeling. Could be a lady, hard to tell. And then a second one, also kneeling, or seated, waiting for the meal. Alright guys, that was all the campsites, tents, etc. And I'll be sure to put all these together when I actually do recover from this COVID. I'll do all the campsites at one time because I think it'll be a lot easier that way. Again, if you want to help support the channel, hit the PayPal me link in the description below. If you want to hit donate, you can donate there as well on YouTube. And you could always visit my eBay store, which is located right here. I'm a little bit behind the curve because of the COVID, but hopefully I'm on the uptake, and within the next week or two I'll be able to start my regular schedule. Alright, thanks for coming out and checking out this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.